Hey guys, welcome to the Daily Neloo. So a few days ago, I posted a video that I had a hard time answering the question, what is your zone of genius? And that's led me to do some reading online and kind of see where this zone of genius concept came from. So I came across a video by Dr. Hendricks, who I believe came up with the term. And I want to share with you within the next couple of days some of the really profound things I learned watching his lecture. So he starts the lecture by sharing a story that when his daughter was 6 years old, was going away to her first sleepaway camp, he all of a sudden had this immense amount of worry, and it was unexplainable amount of worry, and he didn't understand why. And he called the camp counselor and asked how his daughter was doing, and he reassured him that his daughter is great and that there's nothing to worry about, and this is a very common kind of call that he has been receiving from the parents this week. And this made Gay really think about why he was so worried for no reason. And he realized that he had an upper limit of joy, an upper limit of happiness. And once he hit that upper limit, he would actually find things in his life to worry about. He would self-sabotage his experience and he would create chaos. When I heard him say this, it really hit home because I know I do this too. And if I do it, I think other people do it. So this idea of hitting an upper limit of happiness, an upper limit of joy is all self-created. We are infinite beings. We are meant to live a joyful life. And if we hit a limit, a threshold of joy, we start to sabotage it. This discovery led him to look at what are the fears that create this upper limit. And that is what I want to share with you guys today. So he discovered 4 fears. Number 1 is a fear of outshining those around you. And he says that this fear is created early on in life, usually from a sibling interaction. And there's actually a couple of versions of this. So the first version is, when you do well, it's going to hurt your siblings' feelings. And so you start to not shine your light as brightly. I could really relate with this one. The second version of it is in your family, there's like a designated star, a designated favorite, or a designated child who gets a lot of the attention. And if you are not that child, then you actually have resistance, guilt for wanting to shine freely, wanting to shine brightly, because you don't want to mess up the order, the system of your family. I know there's going to be people that really resonate with that. This idea of outshining others that's developed early on through, a sibling or a family interaction, if we don't deal with it early on, if we don't catch it, it plays through our entire life. The second fear is you feel that you are a burden to society, that your very existence is of no value and is actually causing harm or causing a burden for others. So let me give you an example and see if this resonates for you. So if you want to be a singer and you actually can sing and you start to pursue singing, and then you kind of stop yourself and say, well, God, there's so many singers already out there. Why does the world need yet another singer? Me becoming a singer is just going to add a burden. Yeah, you can inject anything else in the place of singer. It could be a doctor, it could be a lawyer, it could be an entrepreneur, it could be a life coach, whatever. But you feel there is a burden of your existence. The third fear he speaks of is based on loyalty. So the idea here is if you grow to be too successful, if you grow to be really successful, whatever it is you're doing, and be really happy, you're going to be disloyal to the members of your family, to your friends from your earlier life when you weren't not as successful as you are now, as you could be. So that sense of loyalty holds you back. So there's a fear there that is holding you back from fully owning your life and fully living your best life. I know for me, this also comes up. I tend to feel like that with my family, that if I'm somehow going to break the bond with my family if I get too big or too successful. And that's just ridiculous, because the more successful you are, the more you can actually do for your loved ones. And number 4, I think this one is pretty common, is that you believe there is something fundamentally wrong with you, that you're broken somehow. And there's a risk, there's a higher risk of, if you become too successful, if you become too known, that everyone will now see your flaws. They will see that there's fundamentally something wrong with you. So it's safer to hide and live a small life, because there's a lower chance of people finding out that you're a fraud. Now, these 4 fears is what Dr. Hendricks speaks about, that hold us back from living our best life, from really owning our zone of genius, from pushing against that upper limit of joy and happiness and going beyond the limits that we set for ourselves. And all of them, all 4 of them, whichever ones you relate to, maybe you relate to one, maybe you relate to all 4, whichever. And here's the biggest part, guys. All 4 of these fears are imaginary. They might feel really, really real and true for you, and that doesn't mean they are not true for you, but they are imaginary. They've been created through life experiences. They are not who you truly are. And if you can swallow that, if you can believe that, then you can release them and you can replace them with beliefs that actually empower you. This lecture I listened to was really profound. I'm just giving you a piece of it today. I'm going to go more into what he actually describes as the zone of genius, and there's other zones that he also describes, but we'll get into that later this week. But for now, I want you to hear me on these 4 fears, figure out which one it is that you are allowing to hold you back from living your best life. And if you bring your awareness to it, just knowing that you're doing it is going to really help you release it and move beyond it. We don't have an upper limit of joy. Guys, we are infinite beings here to live our best life and to co-create. That's it. That's a lot. So comment below. Let me know which of these fears resonate with you. I would love to hear them. And if you want to see the full lecture, I'll be sure to link Dr. Hendricks' talk. It's not the best quality video, but it's really, really, really amazing content. I'll see you guys tomorrow.